Do you want to know which wide receivers you absolutely must have in your lineup for fantasy football week 7? Keep watching to find out.
And don't forget, we're giving away an autographed Patrick Mahomes print direct from the NFL shop to one lucky subscriber. We're going to announce the winner live Sunday morning on our Start Sit show. So if you want to be eligible for that, hit that subscribe button and you might be the lucky winner.
Absolutely. Every Sunday live. Chris, talking about wide receivers, it's a passing league now, and it looks like the receivers are just going to have to carry your team this year with the way the running back position is looking. So who do you think is going to carry fantasy teams this week?
Well, I'm starting with my guy for the football team, Terry McLaurin, F1, Scary Terry. I don't know, whatever. People always call him something different, but it doesn't matter because he's going to have a monster week this week against Dallas. He's getting the targets, even with Kyle Allen. I know, they're not the greatest targets from Kyle Allen, but he's getting the targets. He goes against Dallas. That defense can't stop anybody, right? Christian Kirk just lit them up. I mean, I think Kyler Murray only completed 9 passes, but it didn't matter because every time they caught the ball, they were going like 60 yards to the house, it seemed like. So McLaurin gets Dallas, second worst against wide receivers. I expect him to have a huge game. If you've got him, you start him everywhere.
Oh, yeah. You know what? I might have him as high as top 10 wide receiver this week. Absolutely. You might not like the quarterback situation in Washington. It doesn't matter. It's, he's proven, I think, by this point, he'll catch passes from anybody. So you got to definitely keep him in there. So I'm going to go with a guy that is pretty reliable, but coming off a bye, didn't do anything. And then the week before that, left early with an injury. So there are some questions because Keenan Allen usually is a guy that's in your lineup, but again, might be a little sketchy just because of the back issue. And I think Anthony Lynn even said maybe he's not 100% yet, but he doesn't have to be 100%. If he's 90%, he'll be out there, right? Keenan Allen is a warrior, and I'll take 90% Keenan Allen any day, especially against the Jaguars, who average 9 yards per target allowed, right there at bottom 10 in that category defensively. I think this is a game where, honestly, the Chargers are going to have to use the passing game to get by, not because Jacksonville is going to be putting up so many points on them, but because their running game just hasn't looked very good. You know what? Justin Herbert has looked good. So I have full faith with Allen. As long as he's out there, I'm not going to sit him. I'm definitely keeping him in my lineup.
Yeah, I agree. I love Keenan Allen this week. I love the matchup, and I love Justin Herbert this week. I'm going another guy out in Detroit, Kenny Golladay, in a great spot this week against the Falcons. The Falcons, like the Cowboys, another one of those defenses where you just play your players against the Falcons defense. I know they crushed Minnesota last week, but look at what Justin Jefferson did. Look at what Adam Thielen did. And that was in a game, right, where Kirk Cousins was terrible. I expect Stafford to be good. I expect this entire Lions offense to be good. I love Golladay this week. Falcons are allowing over 200 yards and more than 1 touchdown per game to receivers. Golladay easily in every single lineup this week. Monster week coming up.
Yeah, definitely. I wish we could say that about Marvin Jones because you think this is a time you start him, but I mean, he's had so many chances, right, with Golladay out and good matchups before, and he just hasn't done it. I don't know what the deal is, but I think it's just going to be the Golladay show. So, I mean, you definitely have to keep him in there. I'm going to go in a little different direction here. Go with a guy who's arguably the number 1 receiver in this team. I don't know, but Darius Slayton is a guy who we kind of feel is boom bust, right? You never know exactly should you start him. He's kind of become reliable, but he's still seen as kind of just a deep threat. Well, he's more than that, but also love this matchup. I know this is a Thursday game. You probably are setting your lineups pretty soon for that, but you have to keep him in there. This Philadelphia defense has been okay, still vulnerable against the pass, even though they're better than they used to be. He should have the best matchup going against Nickel Roby-Coleman. I know some people are worried about Darius Slayton on him. I think, according to PFF, it's not going to be Slay. It's going to be Roby-Coleman, but I think that they're going to try to move him away from Slay. I like Slayton. I think you can definitely keep him locked in.
I agree. I think this game has sneaky high-scoring upside. People look at this and think, oh, Giants are terrible, Eagles are terrible. These defenses are awful. I think both of these offenses are going to score more points than people think, and I like Slayton a lot this week too. My final must-start wide receiver is Tyler Boyd out there in Cincinnati. Hasn't really been – he's been okay, but he hasn't really been lighting it up. But he gets Cleveland this week. We talked about it last week. Cleveland is sneaky bad against wide receivers, giving up 200 yards per game, a touchdown and a half per game, almost 15 receptions per game. And here's the thing about Boyd. He's had 8 targets or more in all but 2 games, right? We know Joe Burrow is throwing the ball a ton every week. And the last time, and another thing is Denzel Ward, he's probably going to shadow A.J. Green again like he did in week 2. And last time when these teams played in week 2, Tyler Boyd put up 7 catches, 72 yards, and a touchdown. I expect something similar this week. So if you've been frustrated by Tyler Boyd or if he's been sitting on your bench, this is the week to put him in with confidence.
Yeah, and he's usually a pretty high floor guy. So Boyd, you should feel pretty good about. I'll tell you, it's a little more risky, but AJ Green's coming back into the fray. I kind of like AJ Green based on this matchup too. So if you want to go a little deeper, you can do that. And then my last must start at wide receiver, a guy who had been just kind of ignored the first couple of weeks, coming off an injury and didn't keep him out long. And now all of a sudden, Christian Kirk is back as a solid wide receiver 3. And you know what? Went off last week, not a ton of yards, but that one catch, right? If you tuned in and saw the 80-yard touchdown, you're pretty happy if you played him. I did. And caught another touchdown too. But this is the start of a trend. He's becoming more involved generally in the offense. He always gets a ton of air yards. And now he has even better matchup. You thought matching up against the Cowboys defense was good? Oh no. This week going against the Seahawks, who still by far allow the most fantasy points to wide receivers. It could not possibly be better. I don't expect a letdown in this one. So I'm definitely rolling Kirk out there. All right. So Chris, that's been our must starts for week 7 at wide receiver, guys. We do this for running back, quarterback, tight end. Also, if you want to know who absolutely should be in your lineup to help you win and dominate, ask us, leave us a comment in the section below, of course, after you hit subscribe. And don't forget, like we already said, one lucky subscriber will get that giveaway. Just watch us Sunday live, 2 hours before kickoff. We always have Endgame Live to help you set those lineups to win. All right. Thanks for watching.